Good morning, everybody. We're back for. I'm gonna go. We're back for another live game of Untold Adventures Await in Prisma Arena. As I've said, with each day I'm getting to grips with the technology involved. I think I've sorted out the issue with the dice tray, so they seem to be showing up a little bit better now as we play. So yeah, hopefully that will improve on things. Still haven't got the hang of banners and all of that stuff, so we'll just see how that goes as we play, I think. So I do need to put up the banner for today, which is this one here. No, I thought I had edited that. So we're actually on episode 5. Yes. So we're on episode 5 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. When we left off yesterday, the raid on the Shrine of Snarl had been kind of deflected, and the raid to try and occupy and take over the chamber had been halted with the Terrapan raiders or marauders locked in the underground entrance. And our heroes took the moment to kind of relax, enjoy the celebration. And I think as part of that cleansing, then the characters we met earlier in episode 3, which was Zakan, the one-eyed cyclor, who'd been touched by despair, and the twins, who'd been kind of in scheming with Zakan. They've all been cleansed of despair as a result of, or kind of relieved of despair as a result of the full moon ceremony that took place. So I think the episode is going to open with us, Ariba, making a concerted effort to get us to Beacon, so that Lenore can actually begin her training. And I am going to, as the kind of narrator and guide of the story, I am going to do my best to get them there, because we are kind of playing like a 7-episode series. That's kind of how we play each arc. It's kind of roughly 7 episodes long. So hopefully, I'd love to see her get there and have an episode or 2 at Beacon. But again, it just depends on how the story plays out. In terms of some kind of like bookkeeping along the way, I'm going to switch to my kind of notes view. So I'm good at doing StoryCube icons. I'm not so great at doing character sketches. So I kind of did a sketch for Eleanor here, which was kind of like my take on this amazing art by Sean Galloway. So not quite the same thing, but it kind of fits the vibe, I think, of the game. I've also done Ariba, who didn't quite turn out as I expected, but I kind of like it in a way. It's got a kind of like Tuva Janssen look from the Moomins. So yeah, that's her guy. He's kind of like a bit rough looking, and definitely he's older than Eleanor. And then this was Gorkin the Trader. So imagine him with a kind of again a kind of terrapin type head, and he's got a kind of like a straw hat on. And I guess that's influenced by kind of been playing a lot of kind of Japanese themed games recently, and yeah, I thought that was a kind of nice look for him as a trader. So I will kind of make an effort to kind of do some character sketches as we go. I realized let me see. So we were after the 4th episode. I've just realized I forgot to give the characters abilities because we are after the 4th episode. Oh, okay. So let me just move these around. So these should have gained abilities. She did lose her Prisma staff. So I'm kind of with Eleanor. I'm trying to think what was something that happened. If there's something that happened in the episode that has kind of aided her. And if I can't think of anything, then I might just roll the story cubes and use them as a way to generate some kind of booster item for her. So I think I'm going to give her some gauntlets. I'm going to say the monks because of the help that she gave them. They're going to give her, actually, because of the monks and the way it's been about meditating, I think they're going to give her a kind of a torque of some kind that she can wear that's going to help her to focus her Prisma powers. So I'm going to put that in after episode 4. A torque of, I'm going to say, kind of focusing. And some kind of gift or ability. So what's she gotten good at? I think she's become more confident. And we know that she can summon Mokon. I think her I'm going to say her combat skills have improved, I think. Because she kind of has used them successfully a couple of times in the game. So I'm going to kind of give her kind of Prisma powered combat skills. Especially her blasts, I think. Okay, so she's got extra. So let's see what Ariba has gained. So I think he started with having a way with animals. And I think I'm actually going to kind of formalize that his ability to, I'm going to change it to like commune with animals. So that's kind of enhanced over the course of the game because we saw him use that in the last episode. So not only has he got away, but he can actually kind of commune with animals. And he's got a Prisma staff. And I'm going to say he has been given some ability or companion or helpful item. He's got the bugler. I roll the store cubes, I think it's C. I did switch a few of these around because I kind of want to bring back in the Rangers at some point because we still have that kind of loose thread that's going on, and the merchant. So I've kind of included the icon that has the kind of the Merchants Guild symbol on it. Oh, hang on. And I've also included the icon that has the forest, or the story cube that has the forest on it. Yep. So this one here. I was kind of tempted to take this one out, the one with the moon, but I'll leave it in for now and see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta check that that's the right amount. So I'm going to give Ariba a power of some kind. So this makes you think of the blasters that the bringers of this rare were using yesterday, and I don't think I really want to go with that. So the light is changing again. It's strange. You all saw it. It was working. That is really strange. I think it's quite bright in my house at the moment, so I think as the light's moving around, it's kind of shifting on this. So if I'm trying to move something around to kind of cover the shadow. I think he is going to be given a Okay, I'm just going to say like some. Let's see how helpful it is. It's basically some food for the buglar. Okay. Though actually, do you know what? Let's go a little bit cooler. I'm gonna give a kind of actually a weapon that can be mounted on the buglar, so that will give them some kind of protection when they're traveling. Okay, it really has just changed its mind again. So I'm going to say buglar mounted, and they're going to be like again kind of Prisma blasters that are on that. Let's see how they get used. So then Gorkin. So a lot of this actually came back because I lost track of what episode we were on. So Gorkin, then what has he done? I mean, he's definitely become really persuasive, but we've seen he's kind of got a. He's developed this kind of, I think, running attack, like a kind of using his armored shell. So I think I'm going to give him that. Let's kind of call it. Well, we have armored, so it's a kind of armored attack. I'm going to kind of call it like a group one. Then I'm going to see that I think maybe the monks or the guards have gifted him with something, or maybe the villagers that we helped at the beginning of the episode. So did he gain some kind of item? Okay, so there's a couple of things here. I think he's been gifted a set of. So this is kind of like a Joker or wall card symbol. So I'm going to tie that back into the earlier episode where he was playing Catchem with Sakan. And I think that someone in the village or someone in the settlement, as a sign of thank you, maybe the little girl that we protected at the beginning, she comes and finds him and with her mother and explains they don't have much to give, but they would like to give him some kind of gift. And they're like a handcrafted set of Catchem dice. And Gorkin tears up a little bit on receiving them from the girl, because he can kind of see the gratitude and the love that went into making these. So he's got a set of Catchem dice, and that's given by young girl. Okay, I think I've got all that worked out. And again, like when I'm playing, there's probably times you'll notice when I'm stalling on certain things, kind of like now with jumping into the episode, and it's partly I've come to appreciate that sometimes my brain is bubbling away on stuff in the background that I don't consciously know. And you kind of really want to allow for that in this game, to be surprised by what your kind of imagination or your subconscious kind of presents you with. So yeah, there's every now and again I'll kind of pause because it's like I'm waiting for something to kind of pop up, and I'm trying to not force it. And also you'll notice there's sometimes where I'm fighting the first thing that comes up because I think, oh, I can come up with something better. But I'll usually try to honor the first thing. So that's why when I'm stalling, I'm like kind of humming and hawing, and then I'll circle back to, I think, the original thing I was thinking of. So with that in mind, I think it is time for the next episode. So we are, so again, I'm trying to improve with how I do the opening for the episodes. So I'm trying to move my hand away from that. And give a bit more of a lead in. So I will roll the story cubes, have a look at them, but then I'll kind of start telling the story and integrate the elements in. And again, I'm really trying to learn from my co-designer, John Fiore, who he has the process of telling stories with Untold down to fine art. And if you ever actually want to check out his posts, he posts them on Board Game Geek under the username of Cashier, Cashier, under on Untold. So he's got some great series that he's put up as well, and I'm constantly learning from him as well. So one day I'll be kind of like at John's level of narrative storytelling. I can make the tools for it, but I still got to work on my actual storytelling. So I will continue to pause a little bit more while I take some water, and then we'll jump into the episode. Okay. Sorry, everybody here, the kind of glug on that. So we're definitely planning to head to Beacon in this episode. And Beacon is, if we're going to reach down, yeah, hang on, I gotta turn this off. Get my headphones back on. Okay, so just for those who don't know or haven't seen the box cover, that is Beacon. So I'm actually going to try and go in close. That is Beacon, and it's sitting atop, if you see closely, Hope is slumbering in that giant crystal. And that's actually a floating city ship. So if you'll see, so I think maybe in this episode we'll try and encounter a city ship. Having said that, some of the ones we would have been in actually probably were city ships that had landed. And again, for those who hadn't seen before, that is the spare in the background. You can see how, use flashy technology to kind of show things off. Right there. Okay. Stalling over, I'm going to jump into the first scene and see what happens. Okay, somebody, there's going to be a fight of some kind. Okay, so our heroes, Lenore, Ariba, and Gorkin, are flying on the Buglar, making their way back to, are making their way towards Beacon, and they are flying over through a mountain range, which is the Malassa Mountains. So again, in the locations, I'm going to write Malassa Mountains. So they're flying through the mountains, and they're discussing what they're going to do when they get to Beacon. Eleanor is kind of like excited and nervous to begin her training, and Gorkin is kind of sharing stories about kind of life back home and his family and some of the places that he'd love to see and visit in Sulis, but he's kind of, again, hoping there'll be good trading opportunities when he gets to Beacon as well with them. And as they're flying through the mountains, they look down and they see a a group of I think, are they going to be? Yeah, I think there's kind of like an insectoid. What would be? They're flying overhead and they see. Okay, again, I got to go with my thoughts. So I'm trying to flesh out the world about, like, with different creatures and characters in my thinking. So, a I don't know if they're creatures or not. I think it's going to be actually like a kind of, again, like Gorkin. They're kind of an insectoid race that live high in the mountains. They are winged, and the what are we going to call them? It's going to be one. It's going to have to start with B. Okay, I'm going to call them a Z. So we see a Z, like I think it may be a group of them attacking someone or something, as we say. So we hear the sound. Yeah, so we hear the kind of sounds of clashing. And as we fly over to get a closer look, we see, who do we see them attacking? Who are they, or what are they fighting with? Okay, so this kind of catches my attention. There's a couple things I saw, but I think it's like a lone explorer. So it is kind of like an Indiana Jones type character who's been kind of climbing high in the mountains. He's kind of got a backpack. He is riding on the back of a creature, like a mount, and he's attempting to kind of to fend them off. And he's been kind of knocked to the ground and is kind of scrambling for cover. So I think we will, when we see that, I'm going to kind of, I think we'll swoop down with the buglar, on the buglar, and try and like land in between the two of them, to kind of separate the fighting. So let's see what happens. I got to shuffle these again. Again, Ariba is like, Eleanor, we gotta get a beacon. Maybe there's like an entry day actually, and we have to be there on time for registration. That's it. We gotta get there in time for registration. So let's see what the outcome is. So we tried to swoop in on the buglar and try and separate the two and create some distance between them. Okay, so we succeed, but yeah, I think we kind of almost like crash land a little bit. It was kind of really hairy, and because it was quite close, so I'm going to say thing has been injured a little bit. I'm going to say the buglar is just kind of exhausted. Maybe that's it. So they're not going to take off just yet. So we're going to be kind of forced to be here. So they're kind of, yeah, we've kind of separated them a little bit, and I ask the see it. yeah, I just ask the busy, like, what's going on? What has this person done to kind of be more creative? What have they done to warrant this attack? Because the busy is not impressed. Okay. So I think this is the one that kind of grabs my attention straight away. That's true. So I'm going to say the busy says that this person, this creature has violated our sacred grounds and claimed the remains of our ancients. They say they come in peace, but we know it's a lie, and they will not enter our ground. So he's actually kind of preempting it and saying, we know, we've seen their kind before. They come and they take our sacred items, and we will not stand for that. So I think I turned to the explorer. So actually, we have it in the wrong place. So actually, sorry, should have put the characters. Let's see the race. So items. It wasn't the groups. I should have had it groups. Busy. So insert go to race. Again, I am stalling while I think of ideas. And this person, for now, they are an adventurer, kind of an explorer. And we'll figure out the name in a bit. So I turn to the explorer and go, well, do you want to explain yourself? Here's out of the way. So I ask them to explain themselves. Like, what are they doing here? Okay. So I think they say that my grandfather, another great explorer, had come here, and he's disappeared. I've come in search for him. So he is going to introduce himself as let's say Jolan. And his grandfather is I'm going to say Polan. I know. Explorer is missing. So we I asked the busy, do they know anything about this, or can they help us to find Polan? So I'm going to take an action token. And they agree reluctantly. So I asked them. So I think we go and search, actually. So he kind of agrees to bring us into into their domain, which I think is kind of like up amongst the trees, because it's almost like kind of beehives that are hanging down. But as he's guiding us, we ask, have you seen or heard anything about Polan or this other explorer? So so they So these are kind of grabbing my eye, and this, I think. So the Bazee says, yes, we did hear of someone who had come previously and was actually quite enlightened. They understood our ways and were kind of respectful. So with this, but they went kind of like higher into the mountains in search of a shrine, and we've not heard anything from them since. They just assumed that they had died. Okay, so missing, presumed dead, and that he's potentially gone higher into the mountains. So we kind of head back to so let's see. So the plot thickens. So along the way, as they're kind of bringing us back, I think, towards the settlement, you discover that the Bazee has an evil ally. Oh, okay. Yay. Okay, so I want this. This is the Rangers. So I think we want to bring them in. Oh, and the merchants. Ooh. Let's go with the merchants, I think. Because as we arrive at the village, we see some traders that I recognize from. So I'm going to say it's the Merchants kind of Guild from Glorthan. Again, not really catching the light too well. They're like loading up a transporter, and they are preparing. Yeah, I can see off the side that they're loading up this thing and preparing to kind of head out. And as the three of us are walking along, we kind of look and notice them, but we kind of we quickly kind of hide ourselves because we don't want them to recognize us there. Because I don't trust them after them kind of kicking us out of the Merchants Guild in that previous episode. So I mean, a immediate thing is like, what are they? What are they loading? I think is probably my first thing I'm going to ask. So my computer wants to restart. No, don't do that. So what are they loading? I kind of feel like we got to use this, which is something from that kind of upper shrine. So I'm going to say some. It looks like kind of valuable artifacts and that have been taken down to the shrine, and we learned that actually by Jolan. He sees this. He's like, "What are they doing? They're loading. They're from the shrine that my grandfather was here to explore." It's like, what are they doing? And I want to try and ascertain like why they're taking that. Who would I ask? So they're loading that up. We're going into the village. I'm gonna look see if there's anything else. I don't think I can. I'm gonna look see if there's anything else suspicious going on here. What else do I see? Okay, I see that it's kind of the Bazee settlement is quite there's a lot of kind of like military activity happening around, and it's as if they're preparing for a raid of some kind. And so I get the impression that they're they're kind of like moving out these artifacts, and they're kind of rallying themselves and preparing for something. This is curious. I really don't know what's going on here. But we have the grandfather to find, and somehow there's a bigger plot. There's something bigger going on here, more than just Jolan's grandfather. Pull on. I wonder if they stumbled onto it. So I'm gonna ask: are there any signs of despair in all of this? Okay. I don't know what I was expecting to see, but I kind of get the impression, no, this is more like a money-related transaction. So maybe they're trading. That's what's happening. So the Bazee are. It's why they didn't want Polan maybe initially to enter, and that they're basically trading. So they're exchanging these kind of the Bazee artifacts in exchange for money and weapons, and they're gearing themselves up for some kind of attack or raid. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Okay, I think. Oh, I've got to reset these. I'm. So we're going to deal with that. Let's go through the. I think I'm going to. I don't want to save my modified token. Will I use it here? I did see the symbol somewhere. Definitely saw it somewhere. So that shrine symbol. Have I used it up? No. Oh, you know what? It's on a different icon. That's what it is. So I'm going to use my modified token. And we're going to go to the shrine in search of Polan, of his grandfather. And as we make our way up higher, so they're kind of living up in trees, and their huts are made out of the way you would almost see a kind of wasp nest attached to the sides of trees. They're like kind of huts suspended. But we're going to actually kind of go past them and walk up higher into the mountains, where it is quite dense, I think. And we're going to head up to this. It's like an even older part of their culture and heritage that's been kind of neglected, where they've moved further down out of the mountains. And it's definitely, I think it's colder up here. So we travel up, and maybe it's the next. So it's maybe the next day. We've packed up, and with the help of, so I'm gonna have to give that character a name. So I know he's part of the race of disease, and I'm going to call them Urza, I think. It was the. And again, kind of like, because this is kind of like a younger animated series, I think Urza is like a younger member of the tribe. So he's not so caught up in the tradition, and he kind of, he's questioning things. He maybe doesn't agree with what's going on here. So we travel up when we are. So as we get closer, I think we stumble upon, I think, some of the merchants who are. That makes more sense. I think the Bazee. So as we travel up, we're following I think we're following the merchants. They're traveling up with their kind of transport vehicles, and we're kind of sneaking up behind them when kind of out of the bushes a band of Bazee emerge and orders to kind of halt, and we're going to start running to evade detection. I have no idea if we're going to run, and we don't have Buglar. So I think we're going to try and dive for cover, and yeah, I think I'm trying to think if we're going to call it a Mukon or if we have any other abilities. Nope. Nope. So first of all, I think we're slightly outnumbered, so I think we're gonna split up and try and force the group to divide, I'm going to run with Gorkin and Ariba, and Pulan or Jolan are going to head together. Let's keep it interesting. Jolan's going to run with me. The others are going to the other direction. So yeah, we're going to try and separate them and make it easier to kind of lose them and take them out. So that's my action. No, okay. So I think what happens is they pursue. We don't kind of like fully escape them, but myself and Jolan managed to escape, and Gorkin and Ariba are actually captured by the busy guards. What have I done? I made a bit of a mess here. Okay. So I'm gonna see. I think I'm gonna have to kind of leave them for the moment, and I'm gonna try and. So they're busy. No, I think they capture them and they bring them with them back to to kind of catch up with the traders, the members of the Merchants Guild, and kind of explain like, look who we found. So how do the Merchants Guild react to this when they see Gorkin and So they say, let's send them in. So I'm going to say, like, let's send them into the shrine. There's like a really hard to find item, and there's a number of obstacles that are in the way that's going to prevent them from getting it. And they're like, well, no point in losing important lives trying to reclaim this when we can send them in to get it. So I'm gonna go, what is it? Like, what are they? Can I hear what they're talking about? Like, what's the important treasure in here? That's so heavily protected. I want to say, I think everything is the map. I'm going to call it something else. Let's call it the okay, yeah. It's the Eye of Wonder. Okay, I have no idea what it is, but I am going to have a flashback. So let me see. So I'm going to send token for flashback. Okay, so quick history lesson in the world of Sullus. For those who I might have said it before in previous episodes. In the world of Sullus, we are currently in the time of despair. Hope slumbers, and we're waiting for Hope to awaken, and that's part of my job as Eleanor. It's why I'm traveling to Beacon to train and become a guardian of Hope and protect Hope until it inevitably wakens. So it's a case of despair and its followers are trying to almost like extend its time in solace. Hope will emerge eventually, but it's just how quickly that will happen. um, but after the time of Hope, um, will give rise to the time of wonder, which in turn will give rise to the time of apathy. But the time of wonder is this incredible age of, it's like the kind of golden age of civilization when incredible things are made. Most of the kind of like machinery and technological advances during this happened during this time. Improvements to life and welfare and well-being, they all happened during this period. And for some reason, this artifact, the Eye of Wonder, from the previous time of wonder, is located deep in this shrine. I think we got to stop them from getting it. Okay, so I don't know if we are going to get to rescue the others. So I've a couple of actions left. So we discovered there after the Eye of Wonder, we got to stop them from getting that. But they've also captured Ariba and Gorkin. So I'm actually going to switch to Ariba and Gorkin because we're kind of playing all of the characters. And they are going to, so they've been, I guess, tied up and captured. And I think Gorkin is, as a trader, he starts talking and he starts saying, I can get you a really good price for them back in my homeland of Terrapan. That these this merchant skills you speak of are trying to cheat you, and so he's trying to bluff his way and convince the guards that he's basically trying to buy his way out of the situation. So let's see how he gets on with that. Nope, they've already got. They just sound like, be quiet. We're happy with our arrangements before, and if you open your mouth again, it will be the last time that you open your mouth. So I think Ariba is going to use his he's got away with animals, and then he can kind of commune with them. So I think he is going to reach out. So Gorkin hasn't succeeded. I think first of all, he's just going to try and basically kind of like work his hands through the ropes and try and release them. Let's see how he does with that. Nope, they're tied too tight. So I can kind of see them struggling over in the corner. I'm going to see if if Jolan is kind of provide a distraction, and I'm going to run up and try and cut them free. Assuming I've packed a knife for my trip up into the mountains. So Jolan is able to like kind of hey over here, just like that scene in bunker in Return of the Jedi, is calling for their attention, and he kind of runs off into the forest. Meanwhile, I run over to free Gorkin and Ariba, and whilst avoiding the traders who are just looking around going, I think they obviously look down on the Bazee. So I managed to get them, and I'm going to check then to see whether. So last action, I am going to see if Jalan manages to kind of shake them off while he's running through the forest. Okay, he does. But, okay, so the guards come back, and they are annoyed, really frustrated, and they're like, they come back, and they're like, telling to the guards, would you just hurry up and be done with this? And then they look around, and they see that their two captives are missing as well, and they're like, and so you can hear that like sound really building up as they are kind of on the warpath at this point. So we discovered then that kind of I think fits in. Maybe we've revealed it already that they're actually seeking so they have a dark agenda. So actually what they're planning is so this is kind of like the credit card symbol. The traders, the Merchants Guild don't want the Eye of Wonder for themselves. They are going to sell it to the highest bidder, because I think the Bringers of Despair are going to want this, and maybe some of the followers of Apathy, or it could be the Guardians of Hope, or the I'll have to come up with names for them, or the so it's the Keepers of Wonder. So they are planning to sell it. They want it so they can sell it, and we can't let it get into the wrong hands. So we kind of overhear them talking about like who do you think that the highest bidder will be, and I wonder. So my question is, in trying to overhear, I guess I'm trying to overhear that conversation because we need to get the temple. So they're planning to sell it, and I wonder, like, when or where are they planning to sell this? So how are they planning to sell it? They haven't got their hands on it yet. Okay, so I think they are going to. I want to bring them back in. They're going to use the Rangers. I think. Well, let's go with that. There's a couple of things spinning around my head. Maybe they're going to go back to the home of the Rangers, to the forest of the town of Greenlight, which is where they're located. For the forest of Hendon. So there's maybe a secret meeting being convened in the forest of Hendon, where the various parties are going to meet, kind of from the four factions, maybe not at the same time, but they're planning to convene in Hendon Forest, and maybe offer to the Rangers first, just to kind of get the bidding going and see how it works. Okay, so is that if they're going to do that, they're going to sell it. So I want to make sure like the ante is high enough. If they get their hands on it, they're going to sell it, and they're going to take it to Hendon. You know, I'm going to ask a different question. What are the implications of someone getting their hands on this? The Eye of Wonder. Yeah. I think the Eye of Wonder allows them it's going to act as a kind of a magnet to call on one of the great Mokons. So it can amplify their power and accelerate their return. So if the Bringers of Despair get it, Despair will get to stay longer in the land. If the Bringers of Hope have it, they will get to summon Hope quicker. But the risk is then we could also actually potentially, if the Bringers of Wonder or Apathy get it, we could upset the cycle of things. And let me see. No, because it's kind of like the pathway. Sorry, I'm kind of reading this wrong. So it actually acts as a guide. So it will find where they're located, because essentially the other three are dormant in the land. Hope is a beacon and it's heavily protected, but we don't know where Wonder or Apathy are. And if someone got their hands on this, they could actually, if the Bringers of Hope, of Despair, get their hands on it, they could find Hope, who is, we will say, is in a hidden location. No, don't take that back. People know where it is. But for Wonder and Apathy, it could enable them to find them and potentially, I guess, draw on their power or destroy them. We're not quite sure. But basically, it will help them find the different Great Mokon. And maybe it would allow them to control them as well. So it's one of those things where you invent something incredible, which really shouldn't be invented. Okay. So, where are we going to go? I'll roll the dice first. head to so I can't go there. So I'm going to use this to say we I kind of think we either need to get in and try and make our way through the challenges, and get the Eye of Wonder before anyone else does, or we need to kind of like bring down the shrine and bury it. I think we need to get it and get out of here. So I'm going to say we head into the shrine. So we kind of sneak into the shrine in search of trying to find our way down to where the Eye of Wonder is located, and we know there's challenges we need to get past. So I'm going to use these two symbols as sorry, let me switch back to the board. To the various challenges we're going to have to overcome, because we're going to be captured by them. So they're going to basically obstruct us from getting to where we want to go. So I'm going to say that the first obstacle is, so I'm kind of seeing this symbol here, which is like a kind of voice speech. Okay. So the first thing we do is we go in as we enter into the chamber, and we're kind of like brushing back the cobwebs and making our way down. I'm kind of using my Prisma to kind of create a glow around me and act as a kind of light. Ariba's holding out his staff with a glow on it as well. And Joanne has a kind of more traditional, I think he's just got like a Prisma shard that is kind of mounted inside essentially like a torch-like structure. So instead of having a bulb, the shard itself is actually glowing. And we're making our way down, and we enter into a chamber, and the door behind us immediately closes, and we hear the sounds of like these kind of whispers coming, and they say to us, there is no point to this. You will not succeed. You are not worthy of receiving this. You will fail. It's just all of this kind of like negative thought and emotion, and I can feel it kind of like almost seeping into me. And I do my best, I think, using the torque to really focus and call on Donna, who is the who represents courage. So I'm going to kind of really summon and focus my attention. And I have an idea of what would happen if I succeed. So please let me succeed. No. Okay. But so I don't succeed. So I think I summon Grova, and Grova is like running around and, almost like he's jumping in the air, and as he jumps and swipes, these things almost become tangible, these thoughts, and he's kind of curling them up into like balls, and kind of stomping them. And he draws his kind of like he has a kind of tail, like a blade on his tail, and he's like kind of cutting through the thoughts, but they're just laughing, saying, "This is not enough. If this is all you have, you are not worthy of, progressing through this chamber." And I think that was our first action gone. So again, it's kind of like seeping into us, and we almost feel the chill of it. And I'm going to see if Ariba, the ever practical, suggests, why don't we try blocking our ears to see if that kind of does it. So he kind of tries it first. Okay, yeah. So he I think pulls out like wadding from his clothing, and like sticks it in his ear, and he's like, it works. And so he pulls some more out and gives it to each of us. And the expression on this card is me not impressed with like how he was kind of easily able to overcome this challenge, and I think the spirits aren't too impressed either. So that was the second action. So we push on further, and as we get through, so we managed to get through this, and the door is closed in front of us, and because the chamber was closed, and we need to get out of this chamber. So we're going to try and I think between us, we'll just see if we can find a mechanism to open it. Okay, so we do. We find a mechanism, and we're able to pull it back. But I think in doing so, Ariba is he's kind of feeling the strain and is kind of quite tired as a result of this, and kind of wanting to be strong, and is a little bit kind of embarrassed about that. So I am going to. So we managed to get the door open. Now I'm going to spend an idea token, because my idea is that Pulan, who we thought was dead or missing, is actually here in the shrine. Kind of in the underground kind of chamber, and he steps forward with a gun, like with a blaster, and says, "Stop right there. I am not going to give up all of my hard work to just hand this over to anybody, whether it's you or to the guild." And so he says, "Julan, thank you for coming to search for me, but there was no need. I am fine, and unfortunately now I am going to have to kind of remove you from the picture. So he he basically orders us to go deeper into the chamber. So the next challenge, I'm going to spend an idea token just to kind of extend this a little bit. Is a yes, he basically says it's a chamber that needs 5 people to work it. So an action has to be taken simultaneously to activate the final door, and I kind of realized it was there to prevent any one person from having absolute power. And I think traditionally it was intended that the elders of the Bazi tribe would come together at the right time, if needed, and activate the chamber together. So we he's kind of like Palan is standing there, and he has got the kind of gun pointed at us, and he's ordering us to all do it. We all have to kind of place our hands inside this kind of opening in the wall and grip a Prisma shard, which would then energetically almost like create a kind of a loop. So we all actually have to, maybe it's smaller actually, we all have to kind of hold hands, we all have to touch in some way, and kind of grip the thing at the same time to create this almost like circuit. While he's doing that, I think Gorkin is going to just like swing his shell around and try and ram the Palan to stop him from kind of opening the chamber and getting it. So let's see if he succeeds. He doesn't. And he screams out as Palan blasts him with the Prisma blaster, and Gorkin falls to the ground stunned. And Palan's like, "Look what you've made me done! I needed 5 people to do this." And he points a blaster at me and says, "You can summon Mokon. I've seen you. Do it now. We need 5." So I am going to summon. Let's see. I'm going to go for. Okay, I'm just going to close my eyes and focus. I'm going to try and summon Grova, the affectionate. So close my eyes, summon them. Grova appears. Okay. I'm going to when Grova appears, I am going to kind of mentally call on them to basically bear hug, because in the game this is what Grova does. It's going to just turn and like bear hug Palan and see if we can kind of take him out. I think it's my second action. No. But Jolan uses it as an opportunity. So Grove is hugging him. He's kind of tied up, and I think Jolan is going to try and what's he going to do? Is he going to use this distraction to take down his father? I think so. So he's distracted long enough, and he is going to take down his grandfather. He manages, but it breaks his heart to see what's become and how his father has been kind of like corrupted by this search for power, basically. So we are out of actions. We're out of time. I think the way to wrap this up, because the question really is, does I don't think they want to go in and take it, but they want to keep it hidden from everybody. I think they're going to have to trust, like, if it hasn't been found by now, it's not going to be found, or they can at least buy some time. So I'm going to have to assume, like, as a way of wrapping up the episode, we're going to emerge from the tunnel with Plan and say he was planning to take it from you all, and he stop. I don't know. I kind of feel like I need to close up this temple in some way. So I'm going to suggest just narratively tie this up. So basically, the after Pulan collapses, we've effectively failed to open the the shrine, or to the antechamber where the Eye of Wonder is held. And as we exit, we find. Okay, I'm just going to reveal a card and see if it happens or not. It's the thought. Okay. So, as we exit the chamber, we make our way back out, and we find ourselves not where we expected. So we're not back. It's like the chamber has moved, and maybe that's part of its majesty or its kind of power, is that the chamber actually keeps moving around, and so we have we've arrived back out, and we recognize it. I think we are basically outside Beacon at this point. So when we wander out to the tunnel and we see the light and we emerge, we look up and we see the shard of hope. So that giant crystal form with hope sleeping in it, off in the distance. And we're like, what are we doing here? And we look at each other. And when we turn around, the entrance to the temple is gone, or the entrance to the cave that we just emerged from is gone. And Jalan says, well, I think you're stuck with me. And kind of with that, we start making our way towards to Beacon. And I think that's the end of the episode. So I'm probably going to have to add Jalan as a character. That's his third episode, so he's not any more powers. So we actually have to carry thing out because because he was incapacitated. So I'll just make a note of that. I'm just going to write it down here as a kind of reminder. And yeah, so we'll add Jalan as a character. Though I suspect they might kind of head on their way, try and make their way back to their kind of hometown as well. So that is the end of the episode. We are a lot closer now to Beacon than we originally were. And yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what happens when we get there. Because I've done all this work around the actual game and the mechanics of Beacon and the Prisma Arena, but not the actual comings and goings of the people. So we're kind of really curious to see how that plays out. But we do have so we've kind of thwarted the merchants in terms of getting their hands on the Eye of Wonder, which is kind of an important thing, but I don't know what the implications are for that. I'm sure we haven't made any friends with them as a result of it. But yeah, let's come back tomorrow and see what happens when we continue Prisma Arena, the animated series. Thanks everyone for watching, and see you same time tomorrow. Bye.